I'm Nathan.
And I'm Tina.
And we are Blue Notes News.
Welcome back to the podcast. We're happy you're here. Hey, Nathan. How
Hey,
you doing
Tina.
this week?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
I mean, we're surviving in a very authoritarian state.
Yes.
But we are here and we are drinking again.
Yep. Got my margarita this
Got
week.
a margarita. I've got a little vodka with Crystal Light, trying to cut the calories back.
Good for you.
So we have a really cool show today. We're super excited. We have a special guest, Paul Dellinger, who's joining us. He is running for the 8th Congressional District in Florida. And so we are going to keep our stuff a little bit on the shorter side this week so that we can give him as much time as possible to share his platform.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good things to say, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be super fun. So let's dive into some news.
We have some good news this week coming out of the Middle East. At least we've got a ceasefire with Gaza and Israel.
I think, I hope that it lasts. I worry about it a little bit. I do think it is great news. And the remaining living hostages got released. 2,000 Palestinian hostages are getting released. Aid is going to flow again.
Yes.
I don't trust Netanyahu or Trump as far as I could throw either of them. They are trying to stay out of trouble. I mean, tell me some of the stuff he was in trouble for.
Bribery, corruption, fraud,
breach
of trust. Maybe that's one of the reasons this war was drug out for so long, because he doesn't want to face those.
He doesn't want to face the consequences of what he's done. And he's guilty as all get out. Yeah. He's a right-wing Trumper. I mean, that's what he is. They were praising Trump this morning. I mean, just screaming his name, Trump, Trump, Trump,
I'm sure they're excited about bringing peace to the area because
it's been out of control for two years.
A nightmare, honestly, but he is a nut job.
He is a total nut job. But I think it brings us to the idea of the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
Because Trump really wants that prize so bad.
I'm sure he thinks this is going to get it for him next year, but he did not get it this year. It went to Maria Corina Machado of Venezuela. She tirelessly worked to promote democratic rights for the people of Venezuela, hoping for a transition from a dictatorship to democracy.
Yeah, meanwhile, in the United States, we're going from a democracy to a dictatorship. So, I mean, it'll be curious to see what happens, but they do have some really particular standards. As a matter of fact, let's play the clip.
U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize and he'd like to have it. He even said that it would be an insult to the United States if he doesn't get it. What does as the chairman of the Nobel Peace Prize Committee, think of this, and how has this campaign-like activity by the president and his supporters, domestically and internationally, affected the deliberations and the thinking in the committee?
In the long history of the Nobel Peace Prize, I think this committee have seen any type of campaign, media attention. We receive thousands and thousands of letters every year of people wanting to say what for them leads to peace. This committee sits in a room filled with the portraits of all laureates, and that room is filled with both courage and integrity. So we base only our decision on the work and the will of Alfred Nobel.
So did you catch that? Courage and integrity. And he apparently doesn't meet that standard.
Yeah, you don't get to win the World's Peace Prize when you turn your own military on its own people.
No, right, exactly. Yeah, or send them to concentration camps.
Yes, where conditions have been extreme.
Awful.
They have been reports of them drinking water like dogs on their hands and knees with their hands tied behind their back. The food, I've heard, has been almost inedible.
Rancid. Yes.
Days without water, one toilet to share. I mean, just
no contact
absolutely
with family.
Inhumane conditions.
It's totally inhumane conditions. So much so that the new Pope from Chicago has some strong opinions about being pro-life. Let's play the clip.
Someone who says that I'm against abortion, but I'm in agreement with the inhuman treatment of immigrants who are in the United States. I don't know if that's pro-life.
Well, we all know Republicans have always been pro-birth and not exactly pro-life.
100%. You cannot be pro-life and treat people the way they're treating immigrants. You cannot be pro-life and not provide health care to your citizens, provide food to your citizens, provide education to your citizens. You are born, and it's like, we're done.
We're done with you, yeah. And you can't be pro-life and pro-death penalty
no,
at the same
you can't
time.
Be. And
like,
Pompeo talks about that too.
Yes.
And he's not a flaming liberal or something. I mean, he really isn't.
No.
But you have to have some standards of how you're going to treat other human beings.
Yes.
I mean, you can't do like you were saying. You can't be throwing people into concentration camps and mistreat. That is not American, first of all, but it's certainly not pro-life.
And it's certainly not what Jesus would do.
No, it's not. As a former pastor, I can tell you that's not what a matter of fact, you won't know this song, Dina, but when we were little, we used to sing red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. Because, and like, I look at like my family and I think they think, what happened to you? This liberal stuff isn't good. It's not right. It's incorrect. You know better than that. And I'm like, you taught me to be this way. We said the pledge every morning for liberty and justice for all.
Yes.
I mean, you can't have it both ways.
What happened to do unto others as you would have them do unto you?
Exactly.
They taught us all of this and then forgot they taught us.
Apparently so. They got radicalized watching Fox News and Tucker Carlson.
They sure did.
But yeah, I mean, 100%. I think they need to be called out. And I know that Pope Leo has called for his bishops to address this issue in the United States. I hope that they will. I know they have a lot of freedom. I mean, I wasn't Catholic, but I know they have a lot of freedom in what they can and can't, what they do and don't have to do based on what he tells them.
Yeah.
But I hope that they will listen to him and talk about that, because Catholics are not a monolith like evangelicals.
And at least he's making immigration a moral issue in the pro-life conversation.
Absolutely. And it is a moral issue. And so I hope that it makes a difference. I hope that people will hear that somehow we can break through the noise of conservative media.
Yeah.
And that they will listen to these spiritual leaders.
Demonizing immigrants.
Stop demonizing. They're human beings, for God's sake.
Yes. And they're a contributing part of our society here.
They do. They pay taxes and they don't take anything off the dole.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. That wraps up our main news stories for the week, which brings us to our next Just for Fun segment, which is a quick, funny, and viral story about Vice President Kamala Harris this week. Play the clip.
Because there's so much about this moment that is trying to make people feel like they've lost their mind. When in fact, these motherfuckers are crazy.
You go, girl.
Yeah, she's like, I don't think she gives a fuck anymore.
No.
But she's right. They are crazy as hell.
Yes.
100%. I love her. She's great. I miss her.
Yes.
I mean, she may run again. We'll see what happens. But right now, she's just touring and doing her book thing. So, and having a good time, apparently.
Yeah. She's not wrong.
No, she's not wrong. All right, well, that was fun, but let us change gears and introduce our special guest of the week. Dina, take it away.
Paul Lyle Dellinger is a grassroots organizer,
political commentator, and actor from Rockledge, Florida.
He's the founder of Brevard Community Organizing, where he focuses on building stronger, more engaged communities through peace, strength, and civic action.
Paul has a growing presence online with over 35,000 followers across platforms, creating political commentary in a style inspired by late-night television shows like The Daily Show and Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
A former theater professional and lifelong content creator, Paul combines storytelling, activism, and media savvy to inspire real-world engagement and change. welcome to the show. We're happy to have you here today.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Paul Lyle Dellinger. I'm running for U.S. Congress here in Florida's 8th District, and I just appreciate you guys for welcoming me. This is very exciting for me.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. So tell us a little bit about your history. You grew up in Brevard.
I did, yes, I did. I grew up here in Brevard County. I currently live in Rockledge, Florida. Was born here in Titusville, actually. I am currently a community organizer. I organize protests and other events. I've been organizing also through the historic Cocoa Village Playhouse, where my partner Joseph is a scenic painter. So that's a bit of my background there. Before community organizing, before I got into social media the last few years, I was also an actor and comedian at the historic Cocoa Village Playhouse.
Very cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, there I lots of comedic roles. I did 12 musicals back to back, 2.5 years.
Wow.
Exciting.
1,300 hours a year of community service, and it just kind of got me into community service. The pandemic happened. Lots of the stuff in the world started going downhill.
Yeah.
And since about 2022, well, I got in a car accident in 2022 that stopped me from being able to perform, and so I got into social media, and we got into activism on there.
Cool.
And got into community organizing the last few years. Really hit it big with the in 2024 with the Kamala Harris election, the general election. My partner and I, we volunteered through our own volition to for the Harris campaign.
Nice.
We just organized rallies and street sign rallies for her. That's what we knew at the time to do. There's other things we've learned since
we did
then.
too.
We knocked doors.
Yeah. We were doing it all. That's where we really put in the most of our effort we'd ever put in at the time. And then she, of course, lost, and we didn't want to lose that momentum or that energy. And so we've just tried to keep it going in certain ways. Like the whole I was totally certain she was going to win, and when she won, I was going to transition into continuing to support her, supporting her re-election campaign. Obviously, that was not the case anymore, so we had to transition and pivot to other things, and so we pivoted.
The next phase?
So we pivoted to obviously, she's obviously the person that we did not want to win has won, and he's causing a lot of BS around the country.
And here at home.
Yeah, he can cause a lot of bullshit around the country and at home. And so it was naturally easy to pivot. Okay, obviously we're protesting, obviously we're organizing. And so January, February, the Doge stuff starts happening. People just organically started showing up at the Marathon Tesla to protest. No one was organizing anything.
Yeah.
I showed up there with everyone else, and then a few friends and I told each other, everyone there was at the protest, we said, show back up here next Saturday at 12 p.m. And it just kept going week after week. We were building it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and then it crashed into the protest in like the No Kings protest that started in April, and we built up to like just over 2,000 people at the Cocoa protest.
Yes.
And then
we were there.
The summer hit and it got hot, and so our numbers have like come down a little bit.
Yeah, it gets a little.
And everyone's like, oh no, we're losing momentum. Like it's 100,000 degrees outside.
Yeah.
No one wants to be out there.
Right.
So that pretty much covers like where we are at now. And now I have a lot of people over the last year. They've kept telling me over and over, you should run for Congress. You should run for Congress. A year ago at the time, I was still like a budding social media political influencer.
Right.
I don't have the typical background of a politician, so I just kept telling people like, well, I don't know, we'll see. I mean, maybe in time after some years and stuff.
Right.
But then I just kept doing things, and it became apparent to me that I do have the experience to run a campaign. I do have the experience to be a U.S. House representative. It's just that no one knows who I am right now. No one knows of me, and so it's just like things like this.
Because you gotta get out to know people.
And so people can see the stuff that we've done. My partner and I, that we've done over the years. While it's not a traditional route to politics, it's led us to understanding our community and knowing so many people. That's the thing. One of the reasons that led me to decide to run was just realizing like, well, over the years I've met so many people, and especially at the historic Cocoa Village Playhouse, I've made so many endless connections that I have barely even tapped into. And we started our campaign, I guess officially mid-August, but didn't even have a campaign bank account until like September 4th.
Right. I knew I was following your stuff, and I was like, wow, they're really grassroots.
It's a little slow going because it's so grassroots. I mean, like we had a hard time. Like, there's not information out there for people to run. Like, I eventually ended up getting a toolkit from the Florida Democrats. I got a toolkit and it helped me. But before I got that toolkit, before people had reached out to me, finding the information on my own and trying to find out how banks do campaign bank accounts, and because no one ever runs for office, it's like that information you can't just Google it.
No, it's not.
So we just went on a wild goose chase in August, and eventually, like, we eventually got some help from the Florida Democrats, and they sent us a toolkit that helped us like kind of iron out some things. We finally got that account going. But then it's like I didn't even get Act Blue set up until September 15th.
Yeah.
So how can people donate to you if they want to?
You can. So donating right now can be done through Act Blue, which is linked on the website, pldforcongress.com.
Okay.
And there will be many more ways for people to donate, because right now Act Blue, a lot of people, Act Blue has some issues with people don't trust it sometimes. Sometimes people have told me that it sets up automated payments, and they didn't know.
So you want to have other routes.
And so I'll be working on things. It's so grassroots. It's just my partner and I. We haven't been able to get any like a volunteer coordinator. Like every position has to be volunteer right now.
Yeah, sure.
And a lot of campaigns when they start off, they hire these positions. And they have the money right off the bat. So we don't. So my partner and I are just at home, like crazy madmen
doing
in
it
our
all.
office, just doing everything. Like, I've got this one wall devoted to all these Post-it notes and everything I have arranged out, because I'm currently the campaign manager.
That's what I was going to say. You're doing it all.
You're wearing all the hats.
Yeah, he's the treasurer. I'm the volunteer coordinator, and so
oh my gosh,
it's slower going because we're just having to build a structure ourselves. And because of like my position as like I'm not your typical politician, naturally there's just not going to be a ton of like big support at first.
Right.
It's grassroots,
right.
And so I'm thinking, like, as I'm learning this process, I think we're kind of coming out of that really hard structure building part, and we're getting gradually into that fun actual campaigning part. It's getting there. But in the first few weeks that I actually had Act Blue up, we did raise just over 2,000 in donations.
That's fantastic.
And that wasn't so. It's better than zero.
Yes.
It was only 2 weeks of pushing. Like I've only pushed it really for 2 weeks. Like, I had to go on. We went on a trip to Nashville to visit my son for his marching band competition. So it's only been a little bit. We are literally just barely at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's all that stuff. All this stuff. The last 5 years. You'll notice my platform. Like, there's a lot of stuff about post-pandemic. Like this. There's so many things that have happened the last 5 years that no one is addressing. Housing issues, healthcare issues. Democrats are addressing it, but here in Florida, where we have Republican-held government and stuff, no one. That's not registering on their brains.
It's very challenging. Yeah.
So
okay. So how do you feel about being a Democrat in such a red district in a red state?
It is so challenging. People often come to me and say, like, I would vote for you. I would vote for you. I'd get involved in volunteering, but we live in a red county, so what's the point? Like, what kind of difference can we actually make? But the problem is that not everybody, but a lot of people have that sentiment, and so no one actually.
They're just not voting,
and they're not voting, and they're not getting involved. They're not volunteering. It's a thing where not only is it just not voting, but it's not getting involved in these political campaigns.
Right.
The way people used to get involved, it's really hard right now. Now, older people, like 45 and older, they're like my core support right now.
Right. Yeah. It's the younger crowd that's harder to get.
It is. And then they're like disillusioned and for many reasons. And but it's just about reassuring them that, this kind of involvement and engagement in community organizing
does make a difference.
It does make a difference. It may not make a difference in 6 months. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it makes a difference in a week. I mean, you just never know. But it's this gradual change that I think that people, they get afraid of that. Like that's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to build things. And as I've done the social media, as you guys are putting on the podcast here, it's like it's a lot of work to build things. And then a lot of it, there's no paycheck, there's no money for it. It's people don't realize it's like everything like this starts off completely free, completely volunteer, no matter what you're doing. And so it's just reminding people that like the work part can be fun. And so like I'm trying to take some cues from like when I organize my volunteers. I'm trying to take some cues from like Barack Obama and Organizing for America, where he made organizing fun. Like he gave people positions, he promoted people, treated them nice, like like it was, I don't know if it was more like a business, but just treated people like, if you're working somewhere and you get awesome like parties, celebratory parties and stuff like
you're
that,
more prone to want to do more.
Exactly. So we just have to bring that kind of organizing back to people, or show people that that's what organizing can be. But I thank so much the 45 and up. I don't even call it older because I mean I'm almost 35.
Such a baby.
Yeah, be careful there.
But I just appreciate everyone who has been showing up to volunteer, and I'm not. Other people are frustrated that younger people aren't showing up. I don't get frustrated. I always try to look for solutions, and I'm just always trying to think of ways to engage them. And one of those ways is TikTok. I still have my TikTok.
Yeah.
I have 35,000 followers on TikTok.
That's great.
It was hard to get there. All that happened from I started with 11,000 when I started volunteering for the Harris campaign. And then by the Tesla stuff, I had gained 35,000 followers, and it was nuts, and like it was so hard to do. I got like 650,000 comments in that time frame. I had to read. How do you even keep up with that? I read basically all of them. Like no joke, I read because I have to be able to read what people are saying to be able to kind of grow and learn, and that was really hard. So if you ever see someone gaining momentum like that in followers, like if it happens with you guys, it's fun, it's so fast paced, but when it's so hard, it's so hard work, it's such hard work. But it's fun. After like I haven't we hit 35,000 in April, and with the protests they peaked and stuff, and then I had my kids for the summer, so I haven't like gotten back to trying to climb that up again, but we're getting there because that's part of the campaign. So where we went from 11,000 to 35,000 in just a few months. Once I really get into the swing of the social media side of things, which is coming in the next few weeks, we're probably going to go from 35,000 followers to like, probably 50,000 followers at least to like within 6 months. And then it could be even more explosive. You never know.
That's crazy.
I just know that like the energy for me is coming. Like I can feel it swelling inside of me, and I'm going to start producing that every day.
I feel like Paul needs to like help us grow the pod.
Yeah.
How do you go viral?
And I totally don't mind segueing into that conversation. How to go viral? It's fucking hard.
Yes.
Once everyone has a formula for themselves. I figured out that like the formula for me was I would make all like 10-second videos, 30-second videos, minute-long videos. And then I realized, well, these 8-second little like funny quips are always getting engagement.
They get more attention.
And obviously it's like, but then at first I'm like, well, I don't want to just put out 8-second clips. I feel like that's gonna like not be great for society, you know?
Right.
Yes, because people's attention spans are getting lower.
But I tell people that like you don't want to do those 8-second clips all the time, but if you have an 8-second funny, awesome like clip from your podcast, post it on your TikTok or something. Like it's just people, that's just how people's attention spans are these days.
It is.
And we have to reach people where they are at, and that's what I've learned. I'm branching out now and doing longer, like 30-second content videos, minute-long content.
Yeah.
That's always my goal, to get to longer form content and like YouTube and stuff. But the secret to going viral, it's many things. That could be a whole separate podcast. I totally don't mind being a part of, because that's just
that would be fun. Yeah. We'll have to do that.
Well,
that would be a fun one.
as I get back, as I put this energy back as I put the energy into the campaign and back into my social media, you'll see over the next few months. Like I'll be messaging you and texting you and showing you all the pointers.
Yes,
like, oh my God, this is what I found out. Because another thing is, like, society and everything is like, it's changing every 2 weeks.
I know.
It's so hard to keep up with.
It is so hard.
And
crazy. I'm like, the kids will be like, oh, you need to get this app, Dad. And I'm like, I don't want any more apps.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's
like, I have enough apps.
People are always like, oh, you need to get on this social media. I'm like, you need to get on this social media.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm already doing all these
There's
different
too much.
things.
It's too much.
Yeah.
Oh
And
my gosh.
people tell me all the time that I need to have someone do my social media for me now.
Yes.
People keep telling me, like, local politicians around here is like, Paul, it's time that you get someone to run your social media. I'm like, I don't know how to hand it off to somebody. It is
hard to let go of stuff.
It's so like especially like I do have a volunteer social media content manager, and she's starting to take over the Facebook for the campaign, which I can't, because it's so hard I do have to hand things off. It's like I can't do all that stuff. But I want to hand off the TikTok to somebody, and just so I can make videos, but I don't know if I could ever do that.
It's so hard. It's so
it's
hard.
Like my baby,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have a TikTok.
I do. I do.
All right.
Yeah, I do. Well, go ahead, Dina. Why don't you dive in and let's talk some policy.
All right.
Okay, what's the biggest misconception voters in your district have about Democrats?
The biggest misconception voters have about Democrats, one of the things I hear is that, and this is just a thing, that we're evil. I'm just going to say it like it comes off in many different ways. They don't just usually say that we're evil, but there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation out there about what Democrats are and who we are as people or politicians. And, the biggest misconception is that we are out for ourselves, that we are here to not do any good for anyone. It's all the different Fox News talking points.
Well, and it doesn't help that you have MAGA Mike out there saying, they're evil, the structure is terrorist. I mean,
it's reinforced constantly on the daily, on Fox News, on Newsmax. That's where a lot of this stuff, the work started with my partner and I, is just recognizing just that constant programming propaganda against Democrats over the last 10, 15 years, to be able to fight the awesome power that Barack Obama had in 2008 and the attention he brought to politics.
I was thinking the interesting twist they're pulling now is that we used to be pansy liberal snowflakes, and now they're trying to turn us into terrorist murderers who are gonna,
and I don't think,
everybody.
and I don't think that's, and I hope that's not catching on with America right now. Like, I think a lot of people are like a lot of people are like people that don't vote, people that aren't engaged, are kind of confused by that. Like, wait. For 10 years, you guys were telling me that they were snowflakes.
Right.
So now I have to be worried about them, and they're dangerous. So for the average person, the average voter, or someone who's not even engaged in politics, they're just going to turn off the TV at that. I think over the next few weeks, the next few months, and I think that's like the conservatives and MAGA. They try out new talking points every 2 years.
All the time.
I mean, every 2 weeks. They try out new talking points every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And if something sticks, they continue
with it. They just go with it.
Yeah. If it doesn't stick, they just forget they even said it.
Yeah.
And it's
like they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats.
Yeah. What happened to that? That's fine.
That stuck around because the left turned that into a meme on TikTok and stuff, which is what the left needs to remember randomly. But what they need to remember is turn that stupid stuff into memes.
Have fun with it.
Have fun with it. Take the serious stuff serious when you need to. Like, sometimes the Trump administration is saying things we need to take serious, but sometimes it's a complete farce. Like they're not smart people.
No, and they're just.
And I love what Portland is doing with the protests and wearing the inflatables to show how dangerous they really are. You know, showing up at
it's the best
frog and unicorn costumes.
It's a great tactic. I hope that gets adopted more around the country because there's going to be more resistance over the next 3.5 years. It's just
well, because at the end of the day, they know they can't really win.
Yeah.
People are like, get out of here, you're crazy.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they're going to try everything they can under the sun because they're scared to death.
And that's and they try it every single day. And I've reached a point of like, I'm not at peace with any of this. I'm still angry all the time, but like I've just reached a point where like I cannot get upset daily. And some things do upset me, but there's a lot of this daily stuff that they put out that I'm just like, okay, anyways, Epstein files.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Like,
yes, that's what every once in a while I post again, like, let's not forget.
Yeah.
Let's not rage post today.
I don't want to downplay everything they say. You know, it's just we have to remember that these are just not smart people.
No,
you know,
they're really not.
They are doing everything by like what ChatGPT tells them to do. Their magical little AI tool.
Yeah.
And you know, like that's just it's
so true.
Yeah.
It's so true. All right. So speaking of those people, how can you reach the voters who don't agree with you because they're in a different party? They just are not on the party line.
Talking to them. I look forward to the door knocking part of this campaign coming up. I've been all over Brevard County and portions of Indian River County talking with people. I've noticed just talking face to face with moderate Republicans or Republicans and independents. They typically do want to hear what I want to say. You know. Online, the comments talking to people in comments isn't really working quite well.
Right.
I think.
Well, you find people are a little more free to say stuff there, but face to face,
exactly. And I'm able to see like their reactions to things, and I can see like their reactions to my words and stuff better than in a video or in a comment. You know, I'm explaining human interaction that we've kind of lost over the last 5 years. Why it's so important to have these face to face conversations.
Because they see the humanity.
You see the humanity.
I think so too.
You can see anything that's happening on the person real time, and everyone can adjust in conversation. Like I'm explaining how humans have conversation on a technical level, but that's like we've kind of forgotten how to do all that stuff. So
I think it's really important.
So in-person meetings and door knocking and just talking about these progressive policy platforms, but talking to them in ways that they'll understand it. And I think we're going to see really awesome results over the next 6 months as I talk to people.
I think so too. I think so too.
So in this political climate, what issues do you find are actually bipartisan on the ground?
Oh, affordable housing, 100% is completely bipartisan. Affordable housing is affecting everyone right now. It's affecting mainly like working class families and people in lower income. But I talk to people all across the financial spectrum, and people in wealthier residents are also dealing with higher insurance premiums, higher rents, higher mortgages. It's not just affecting working class people, but the insurance rates are really what's killing so many people's wallets in Florida.
It's horrible.
And so I think affordable housing and concerns about your neighborhood is something that's extremely bipartisan. Do
you think that healthcare can be?
Absolutely.
To an extent.
Well, healthcare. I mean, it also one of those things that affects everybody. Here in Brevard County, healthcare affects our older population. We've got a lot of elderly people. And a lot of the elderly people here do lean more Republican, and absolutely like addressing the fact that the Medicaid cuts are coming up and at the end of 2027. And all that stuff that they delayed, all those tricks they're pulling on us.
Right, exactly.
So it's a really great moment right now, not just mentioning affordable healthcare, but going to residents and talking to them door to door about their healthcare issues. That Mike Karadopoulos, my opponent in this race in the general election, and other Republican legislators, they're not going door to door. They're not holding town halls.
They're not having to. They're scared to death to have a town hall.
They're scared to death to talk to people about the real issues that's facing them. Affordable healthcare, affordable housing, those can get used sometimes as leftist buzzwords of progressiveness, but those are completely bipartisan issues today, and people that say otherwise, they're just yanking our chains.
100%. Yeah. What do you think that Washington gets wrong about people in this district?
Washington gets wrong that people in this district. Let's see. Okay, so what's affecting people here in Brevard and Indian River County that Washington's not thinking about is definitely the lower income crisis. It's Washington. Mike Karadopoulos is focused on his rich donors. He's focused on the wealthiest residents here. They're not focusing on the many lower income people in Brevard County,
just the regular
county, the regular people, folks, the regular working class people that work in restaurants, teachers. They're not thinking about bartenders. They're not thinking about construction workers.
Right.
All these people that make less than $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
And so Washington, if they think anything about Brevard, if we're anywhere on the radar, it's the wealthier people that are here that can fill the lines of Mike Karadopoulos' pockets, or any other politician. So. And there's a lot of things there's a lot of things the whole country gets wrong about this area.
Yeah.
That we are a super deep red county, but I see this on TikTok a lot, that people don't think that there's actually liberals and people on the left living here.
I know.
They think it's all MAGA.
No, I honestly, I even feel that way as somebody who lives here.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm alone in this world. Like,
I do too. And I feel like
so we show up at a rally and then you're like,
in the closet a little bit
yeah,
more too.
I do too.
Because
I do too.
People can be very aggressive towards you once they find out that
that they don't agree with you at all.
Exactly.
We've learned through the protests that there are thousands of like-minded individuals.
There actually are people.
It's not. I mean, we are a smaller group of people.
Sure, yeah.
But there are people there, and so like that's Washington gets the wrong idea about the residents here, and they don't understand the wealth gap. And then around the country, when people look at Brevard County, they just see it's just all red, it's all MAGA, and a lot of it is. But there's so much of it that's not, and in other red areas too. There are these little pockets of where people hang out in communities, and if people would just organize in their community more, they'll see that there are more people, and you can do it safely. There's a lot of, like, all of our protests we have Wake Brevard, who does a lot of the organizing around here. They do a lot. They use a lot of security. They do a lot of planning for these events that keeps it safe, and that's.
What do you think of the people that say all these protesters are paid? Because I hear that a lot. That they're just getting paid to go there.
I wish.
That's one of the most ridiculous things I've been saying for so long. It's one of those propaganda pieces that Fox News and Newsmax puts out there to discourage people from getting involved in the process, to downplay the process, to make it look lame. The fact is that there's no hiring process for protesting. I think the only times I've ever seen it done literally is for far right groups who use Craigslist.
Yes, they do.
There is no. It's like the word Antifa. There is no Antifa, and it's just this like. It's this
organization,
There's no
it's an ideology.
Antifa,
it's not. There's no organization.
We just have to continue to protest and continue to do it in the lawful ways and the peaceful ways.
Do it peacefully.
Do it peacefully, and people are going to have to find their power and their energy again. We found it during the Bush years going into Obama. We can find that energy again with people.
Well, and even for Dina, like she didn't vote till Obama. Like he inspired her, and now she's doing a political podcast.
Oh, that's awesome. And this is one of the hardest niches to get into is politics for so many reasons. I mean, the pushback you get from not just people that disagree with you, but even the people that agree with you and want you to rightfully want you to always represent them better. And and so it can politics is rough, but it's fun.
It sure is.
And people do need to get involved into it. And whether it's a podcast or it's volunteering or running for office, if you can, like it's just very important that people continue to show that it can be done and some kind of effect can be had. So
absolutely. Well, let's get into some policy positions.
Okay.
Do you want to fire away first, Dina?
So if elected, what's the first piece of legislation you'd like to champion?
So the first piece of legislation that I would work on, or type of legislation, was we would address the insurance issues in Florida. So Florida's insurance crisis is a national problem now, and the federal government can help in many different ways. And one of those things we've been working on is a reinsurance backstop, and so basically insurance for the insurers, and so getting the we could work on instating a federal reinsurance backstop program, and that backstop program would basically be any of these once in a century storms that are happening now, and they're happening more frequently.
Yeah, much more.
But basically having this fund that the federal government can step in and help people with, and it's that can be there for those once in a century storms, and that the idea would be to implement it in a way that it's not like a drag on the taxpayer. It's just used it's not just used for anything. It's for these rare moments.
Right.
When these. My father, by the way, is a meteorologist and works at the Space Center. We know a lot about hurricanes.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot of different legislation to start on first, but insurance, like my car insurance, car insurance is crazy, skyrocketing everywhere, but Florida is the most insane, and I shouldn't be paying the amount that I'm paying, and I've heard other people are paying monstrous amounts, and
it just goes.
It is
and
crazy.
A lot of this is because of the increase in storms, the effects that these hurricanes have had on Florida, and that has affected the insurance market and the insurance companies. And the idea is to create this federal reinsurance backstop. The idea is to try something because no one's really talking about it. No one's really trying something or anything. I'm sure there will be people that we'll try to poke holes in it, but I'm always going to give some kind of solution to the problem. And this, I think, is a way, like with obviously me running for a U.S. federal congressional seat. This is the influence I can have over the federal budget to get insurance fixed in Florida.
That would be amazing. It's crazy.
My partner and I, we live in low income housing. We share one vehicle because vehicles are so expensive in Florida. And I mean, luckily we just drive like 3 miles to the theater back and forth, but. It affects me personally. It affects you personally. It's affecting everybody, and it's a nonpartisan issue. It's affecting all income brackets. And it's important to talk about all the social issues in the world that are happening, and we're gonna, my policy platform addresses everything. But we will be addressing things like insurance and affordable housing, and like rent protections for people. That's going to be very up there on a platform of importance, and the social issues are very important to me too. And I just want to, that's something if I want to, talk about more, is just like finding a good balance between those two, between what's affecting everyday Americans and then the things that are happening around the world that are so awful that America can help with.
Yeah.
So, but here running a federal congressional race in Florida, it's to represent the people here in District
absolutely.
8.
Yeah,
and so
yeah, absolutely.
insurance is where to
It's a
start.
major issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Major issue. So, how do you balance staying true to democratic values while appealing to more conservative voters in this ruby red district?
That's a great question. We're talking to people and meeting them halfway, meeting them where they are at, talking to them about the issues that they that they're into. But I am you can't be super polished with this stuff, and I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence. Like I have a high school diploma, I have some college background, but I'm just a comedian with a high school diploma here. So I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence. I need it worded plainly to me in a certain way,
Right.
and so I just think we use a lot of we Democrats would like to use a lot of bigger words, and like an example would be Bernie Sanders and AOC using the term oligarchy a lot.
Yes.
It was really great, and I was like, yeah, I was super into that. But I'm like, oh, no one understands what the word oligarchy is.
It's just the rich are stealing from you.
Yeah,
Make it
and
simple.
so that's what we've learned and then we've learned the acronym "Keep It Simple." Stupid. I'm not trying to say I'm not trying to say anyone's stupid. I'm not.
But you're right.
And so getting those people over to our side is just not. First of all, if I get out there, I haven't bought a suit yet. If I get out there with a suit and a blue tie and it's prim and proper and my hair is prim and proper and I start talking about things, people are going to check out. And that's just my opinion. And so I haven't how we are going to talk to these people is, well, it's the interesting thing about my grassroots campaign. Is I think this is how Democrats will talk to people. Is using the people to go to the people, instead of finding who the wealthiest, gray-haired man is in the district, and then having him go because you think that, well, that's going to be the guy that everybody goes for.
So if you had to explain your platform in one sentence to a skeptical voter, like at the grocery store, what would you say?
This is people first, always. This is people first, always. This is about the people. I am of the people. I am not someone coming from some corporate company here. I was not someone sent from New York or California to run a race here. That's a lot of people. Sometimes they are very surprised that I'm a born and raised Brevard County resident, and I've never left. They're like, people always ask me, oh, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from here. You're from here? Like, when did you move here? I'm like, I've been here my entire life. So people first, always would be the sentence I would say, and it's going to remain true. We will not be accepting money from corporate PACs or PACs. Good. Like, it's just individual donors. I haven't had any PACs approach me, but that's probably because I'm running this grassroots campaign. He's not going to take money from us. Because
that's good,
That's great. I love it.
I don't want my thought process influenced by anybody else. This influences stuff like the podcast. That's great and stuff, but I don't want a PAC giving me money and then I have to feel obligated to
beholden to them.
Beholden to something. And so it's all about the people. This is all about the people.
Yes, 100%. So the cost of stuff is through the roof. We go to the grocery store, everything's expensive. Like we were just talking, insurance is expensive. Everything's just it's out of control. Although Orange Titty Baby says, as Tina calls him, says that everything's wonderful and the costs are down. What can Congress do to bring costs down? Like at the grocery store, those places we all have to go all the time.
Can they do anything?
Yeah.
Well, you've heard a lot about corporate price gouging at the grocery store. That's a kind of a new buzzword that's been created to explain an issue. But there needs to be much more oversight or regulation over grocery stores and the increase in them increasing prices during times of, like during in Florida when a hurricane is approaching, price gouging laws go into effect.
Right, right.
And so if there's some similar incident like a pandemic or something approaching that's going to be, bad for America, there needs to be some kind of consumer price gouging law that goes into place, not just for hurricanes where it controls gas, but some kind of regulation, federal regulation that and I don't want to control corporate companies and how they run their businesses,
right?
But
but they've got to play fair.
Like clearly, like saying like over the last few years, like they kept saying like, oh, it's supply chain issues, it's supply chain issues, and it's like, well, clearly at times wasn't just supply chain.
It's been 5 years since the pandemic.
Come on, prices, and so clearly to a lot of Americans, it feels like that those are just excuses being made to raise our prices.
Yes, 100%.
And so you hear about corporate price gouging. We can look at that and we can make changes there. That's a whole developing new thing is what corporate price gouging is.
Yeah. And what about like the big conglomerates of grocery stores and like how that even creates food deserts and
how
just feeds bigger issues.
Monopolies.
They're just allowed to willy-nilly merge whenever, and 4 grocery store conglomerates are allowed to run the country.
Right.
So
they can control the prices as much as they want to.
Because they're only competing with themselves.
Yeah,
exactly. So you need more people, not just me, but you need more people going into office that can take those issues seriously and are going to focus and pay attention to those price gouging issues.
Yes. Yeah, 100%.
So how do you feel about Medicare for all?
All for Medicare for all. I support Medicare for all in Florida. How we get to Medicare for all becoming a thing for everybody is one of those things where it's going to take time to build and get people to come around to. But
why do you think so many people are against it?
That probably goes back to the propaganda against Democrats and how we've been called communists and commies for what seems like is forever now. So just maybe if they stop calling us commies, I think we'll be able to get people to understand that Medicare for all is not some socialistic like doomsday. It's actually many countries have universal health care. And
we're
they have
like
not,
one of the few that's not
we're
on track.
Right, exactly.
It's crazy.
And so that's just in my opinion though, everything's been just controlled by propaganda. Going back more than 50 years.
And misinformation.
And I don't know, like, how do you break through that noise? I mean, if you are like my family who is living Fox News and Tucker Carlson and all this business 24/7,
right?
How do you break through that?
Constant, every day, consistently making content, consistently doing your thing, consistently being consistent, and which is hard. Sometimes there's just going to be moments where you get burnt out and you have to take time away. But people like us that do the politics online and talk about things, it's just about can keep going, work through the burnout. When you're feeling like it's too much, giving yourself time to take away. Like I took the last 2 weeks off from the campaign when I probably shouldn't have. I know that I've got to get out there and I've got to get petitions filled. I've got to do all these things. But my son had a marching band competition and there was a lot going on, and it was just like, okay, if I'm constantly posting every day on social media right now, I'm going to get really burnt out and I'm going to continue. So you got to find moments where it's like where you can kind of take a break away, like and instead of everyone, a lot of people doom scrolling or
I think we're guilty for that
one. Everyone's
rage posting,
and so you just have to.
Nathan's bored.
They want us to feel overwhelmed. They want us to feel like it's all pointless, and they want us to get to a point where we're all burnt out and not doing things, and we do, and it's just naturally you're just going to get burnt out.
You do,
and I do, and that's what's this different kind of this social media political influencer running a congressional campaign. It's going to be really interesting because, you know, as I've been doing my social media the last few years, I've learned a lot from TV. Like I do this in like seasons. I do it in like, I do things in 2-3 month spurts, and then I take a week or two off from everything.
Yeah.
And then I come back for another,
yeah.
And how that works for a political campaign, like I just had to do that the last week and a half, where like I could have been posting every day while on the trip to see my kids.
Yeah.
But it's a lot to do that, personal life and that, and that's the everyone says they want someone to represent them that's not a politician. Well, that's what that looks like.
Right.
Everyday people, we all take breaks, but politicians, they don't take breaks. They have teams of people that they have 150 people every day that are helping them. Like Biden and stuff, but like lower politicians, maybe like a smaller group of people, but they still have a team. They have a team of people helping them. Everyday people don't have that, so I don't have everything. I have to do everything.
We need to get you a team.
We got to get you. People signed up.
We're working on it. We're building it. Like my partner and I, we've connected with a lot of different people over this last year. It's really hard finding good volunteer.
It is.
Right
it
now.
Really is really hard.
Finding good volunteer help right now is really hard. A lot of people have wanted it, not just a volunteer. They're looking for a job.
Sure.
And you can get jobs with political campaigns, but people aren't understanding, like, I'm not that kind of political campaign.
Right.
And so that's been really hard, is trying to get a team going, of getting people to understand, like, this is completely free. You're making no money, and I don't like.
You just have to do it because you're passionate.
Yeah. And what I've been telling people, like, when I win the seat, and I'm in that office,
it's a totally different
thing. And whoever if you can do the work and you can hang out with me, and you get me to that finish line, it's a whole different ball game at that point. And I'm trying to. But I think that can be a little much for people. Like, it's just hard right now.
And I think too, when you're a little bit, it's still, for most people that aren't running for office, it's a little early. And so their mind is not there yet. They're checked out.
That's a huge part of it. It's not 2026 yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm telling people,
the pressure's not there.
And people are burnt out from 2024 a little bit,
really
probably.
Burned out on
and that's why I love this part.
Especially since it was so disappointing.
Yes.
And that's why this time right now is so important for our grassroots campaign. This is where we build the structure and the team. Because I do have volunteers, and the people that have come to us are amazing. They're like dedicated, and we've got the people in place that I can hand things out to now. It's just about me handing this baby, this precious thing out to people.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so another big issue everywhere, and we've touched on it a couple times today, but housing costs and affordable housing for people. Being in real estate myself, I see that issue all the time. And I think of this one guy that I was trying to help him find a house, and he was just a single guy, and he just couldn't. And so he's never bought anything and been able to do that because the cost just kept going up. The longer he waited, the worse it got. So how can we address that and make sure that we have affordable housing for people in this district?
And we have to tackle affordable housing, but we have to tackle it in a way that doesn't drop people's property values. Right. And that's one of the things people in this area and District 8 are worried about is if we bring affordable housing, well, what's that going to do to the price of my home? And so, we have to recognizing that we have to bring affordable housing here to Brevard that isn't going to do that. And so we support what I've created. We're supporting smart growth. Like example, using vacant lots and revitalizing unused commercial space. And so you can create mixed income developments.
Sure.
So that way the needs of the people are met without affecting, hurting communities and affecting people's, the price of their homes. So I think a lot of times affordable housing, maybe it's not planned too well, and so that leads to your housing prices going down. So
right.
Yeah.
So I think it's a really difficult subject, but I think that that's how we're going to address the affordable housing issues in Brevard County.
Yeah.
Is by using these there's a lot of vacant lots everywhere in Brevard County. There's a lot of unused businesses. There's a lot of stuff that's just left open and vacant and it does not get occupied.
Right.
And so we can revitalize those spots, use those spots for lower income housing that may not necessarily affect the housing prices in that area.
Right.
And again, it's just one of those things where it's like someone has to try something and think about something. I'm not sure what. Well, I do know what Mike Karadopoulos stands on this, and I don't think he really has much of a stance on how to bring lower income housing to Brevard. So,
right. Yeah, so I think we have to start we have to do something. We have to start somewhere.
Correct.
To start, and I know it's an inventory issue too. There's a lack of inventory overall that jacks the prices up. But we've got to start somewhere and start taking.
There's also
steps.
an issue of, I don't know what the exact numbers are. I want to say somewhere around 300,000 homes, single family homes, are owned by major corporations that are coming in, buying up the properties and driving up rents. What is the solution to that?
And that's a lot like the corporate price gouging
at the grocery store. Yeah.
Corporate companies being able to just snatch up any rental property, any house.
Well, and they're even, I know in some parts of the country, they're going in and buying the whole neighborhood and making the whole neighborhood a rental. Well, then they can determine the value because or what they're going to charge because they own the whole thing.
So regulations and using the federal government to create regulations that can put a stop to that, put an end to that, some kind of solution.
Sure.
And it's just one of those many things that there's no one talking about solutions to these things. Especially Republicans. I would like Republicans to vote for me. Absolutely. It's the Republican leaders that we're talking about here.
Right.
Not the voters. These leaders, they just want to blow past all these issues and they don't want you to think about them.
Right.
So yeah, we've got to continue to think about them, and we have to make real solutions for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they understand.
And that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. In your platform, you talk about increasing access to mental health, especially in the school system. Tell me more how to do that and what benefits that would bring.
Let's see. Well, we need to work on with our counselors in schools. We need to provide them with much more up-to-date knowledge on what's happening with kids' mindsets, what's happening with social media. They need to not just be a resource for classes. They need to also be that kind of mental health resource. Or if you don't do that with the counselors, there needs to be some kind of mental health counselor there that the students have access to.
Yeah.
And so, a guidance counselor, would work great for that too. But, you shouldn't just have guidance on what kind of class to take. There should definitely be I think it would be great if students like my children, I think it'd be great if they had some mental health counselor to go to in school.
Yeah.
That or they have to go talk. You have to go talk to a guidance counselor about your class schedule.
And that's what I was going to say. If it was almost a requirement that you had to do a check-in once a year. I mean, I think we go do physicals once a year.
Yeah,
why are we not doing a mental check?
I don't think it's going to be invasive to just ask a simple questionnaire about how the kid or the child is feeling.
Right.
And so I just think that's a really common sense thing right there that I think everyone can get behind.
I think so too.
Guidance counselors and mental health counselors. I know it's going to be hard to fill both positions. But I think a guidance counselor knows enough to be able to ask a questionnaire just to figure out if a kid is feeling depression potentially.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they could use that information, that data for stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see that happen, but I feel like there will be so much resistance because of the parental rights and you can't get involved in these personal things. Like, how do you think we could get past that?
Well, correct. And, maybe it's like an optional program that's like instilled at first. Maybe it's not mandatory. Maybe it's like something, the kids, when you're signing up for school at the beginning of the year, you can optionally sign up to have a mental health counselor. And maybe if that's, maybe that would be a more popular approach to it to get people to understand,
as opposed to the mandatory check-in.
And I don't want to, and like I want to refrain as much as I can from any kind of mandatory policy. Like I don't. That's one of the things that Fox News gets on Democrats. Is that we just are these like authoritarian people
regulating everything.
We're regulating everything. We're trying to pass laws on everything. Just some things are just common sense. Some things just need common sense regulation.
Well, and like on that same with the mental health care, when you talk about justice reform, you talk about having more mental health care provided there. And so how do we start doing that? How do we implement that, especially like showing up on calls and so the police aren't required to do everything?
That goes into reforming the law enforcement and making sure there's mental health counselors that can respond to calls. They have they're doing that in other areas up north and other blue states, and that does show to work. That's another thing. Like just we have to tackle the law enforcement agencies and how they operate in Brevard County, specifically the Brevard County Sheriff's Office. So we can't have a safe county. We can't have common sense regulations on things if the sheriff is going around and
causing a scene
and allowed to just fire from his hip at all times.
For sure.
So,
But I think that's so important, and I think it also feeds some of the overcrowding of our prisons, because I don't think everybody necessarily needs to be in prison that's there. I think there's a lot of mental health stuff that's undealt with.
Correct. I mean, and that's like mental health. Sure. I mean, it's a huge part of the platform. It should be a huge part of anyone's platform right now. It's not just fixing mental health in schools. It's in the jails. In the workplace. There's an HR. There's human resources. There should be someone to go to, like where because your information's not confidential with HR if you're complaining about your boss. So if your boss,
they find out.
If your boss is doing something and it's affecting you mentally, you other than just going, like no one wants. It's not good to just take that home to your partner all the time. Like your partner's there for that kind of stuff. But also there should be someone at work that you can go talk to that will 100% keep it confidential that your boss is being a jackass.
Right. And then you can deal with get strategies on how to deal with that.
And when it comes to creating policies for mental health or affordable housing, all these things, making our insurance cheaper. People just need to get together and talk it out and talk about the ideas. Because there are like Mamdani in New York City, he's created a lot of creative ideas to tackle the income disparity and
the
stuff.
issues that are there.
Those issues. What he's doing there may not work here, but we can take similar kind of tactics of like just try it, just talk about it, see what people think, and,
exactly.
If they don't like it, you figure out why, and just move on from there.
Exactly.
Getting back to the schools, how can we better care for our teachers and increase their pay to better match their true level of work? So they're not spending their own money on school supplies.
It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a federal seat I'm running for. So influencing the federal government, providing more aid to teachers programs, creating more teachers programs so they have a resource to go to for classroom supplies. When I think about school, also I just want to throw this in there. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but free lunches.
It's huge.
That's huge. That is so, people don't think about it like this, but it's so bipartisan. Like every kid having their belly full and being able to go to school without having to think about that and being able to think and it's so crucial right now.
It is. Well, and I mean, how are you going to tell somebody that they have to be somewhere all day and they're not going to eat anything? I mean, you're like stuck there for 8 hours.
Right. And then, and so they have school lunch program for lower income students, and that's great, but everybody needs it. It's everyone across the financial spectrum has to send their children to school.
Yes.
And that's a financial burden on everybody, mainly on lower income.
Sure.
Yes.
Much more so. But that's where it's a bipartisan issue.
Yeah.
It's absolutely affecting everybody. Everybody's sending their kids to school.
Yeah.
And so that's just one of those issues that, as a Democrat running for Congress, got to talk about right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's how you're going to switch up the propaganda that's out there with Fox News.
Yeah.
Because Fox News viewers are expecting me to show up with wildly colored different hair,
out of control,
just like piercings. I mean, like nothing wrong with all of that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I would love to see someone run for Congress with tattoos.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I look like everyone's grandson. Like that's, I get that all the time, and so that's that's something unique I offer right now to the people of Brevard County. Like when I talk about this progressive stuff, I'm typically not met with like a wild reaction. They're not expecting me to talk about housing stuff. They're really just expecting me to just only talk about the social issues, and which is doesn't mean I'm not going to not talk about the social issues. It's a huge part of my TikTok presence. All that stuff. So, but as we're running this campaign here in District 8, it's going to be about these cost of living issues. It's going to be about how that affects everybody. It affects across all classes of people, all types of people, all groups, and that's where that bleeds into the social issue. That's where we get into the social issues. It's like all these are all social issues because they affect all types of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's about basically we have to, in this campaign, I'm trying to create a new type of Democratic campaign. And we'll see how it works. We've been doing it for like 2 months so far. We're still like so early on.
Still baby campaign.
Baby campaign all the way until even after we get on the ballot, it's still baby campaign until we win the primary. I mean, no one will be paying attention to anything until the primary.
No, they don't.
That's just how politics works.
Yeah.
For most people that are not crazy. Like us.
Right, exactly.
Unless you're the political junkie.
Exactly.
We're all tuning in all the time.
All the time.
Most people, it's going to be August, September 2026 before, and there, people, there will be all sorts of buzz. And so that's just the fun part of getting all the team together. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
So before we switch to some fun stuff, because I know we've gone long, but about the school stuff, as far as vouchers, they drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's insane.
They drive everybody crazy.
Yes.
That's another bipartisan issue that's driving everyone nuts right now.
Yes, because it's taking money from the public schools.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
Most people are sending their children to public schools.
Sure.
And I'm good friends with Jennifer Jenkins, who's running for U.S. Senate here in Florida, and she's been a huge proponent of getting rid of those, and she's worked her ass off the last few years here in Brevard trying to make a dent in the school voucher. So hopefully our campaign also continues to make a dent in getting that idea out there. No one even knows what it is. A lot of people still don't know what vouchers are.
Right.
They don't know what's happening with it.
Right.
That's just one of those disinformation campaigns the Republicans run to get everyone to not focus on that. But absolutely, it's designed to take away from the public schools and give to private institutions.
And it's mostly people who can already afford to send their kids to private schools.
Yes, that take the vouchers.
That are taking the vouchers and using it when they could already afford it anyway.
They could afford it without it.
Yeah, exactly. It's complete, absolute bullshit. It is it needs to be a much bigger. It needs to have a much bigger presence in people's minds here than it has right now.
I think so too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, do you want to, Dina, jump in with the fun questions? We've got a couple fun questions.
Oh, fantastic. I enjoyed the. I mean, that's fun.
I feel like we're gonna have to do this again because there's so much to cover.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like you can't even like.
There is one other question I wanted to get in there because it's something that I just feel. Will it ever change? And that is, do you think the culture wars will ever simmer down?
I think that the culture wars, they simmer down, they come back to a boil, they come back to a rapid boil sometimes, and right now we're in a rapid boil part of it, and I think it will simmer back down, and hopefully over the generations we can teach people how to keep the culture wars from coming back to a boil. Like, I'm just gonna exist in this metaphor for a little bit, like it's just it's literally like we're all frogs and we're all in the boiling pot of water, and so much of this is caused by mainstream media and the Fox News, how they control. They try to control. They got to control the narrative all the time.
Yes.
Well,
and it doesn't help when you have Trump, when you have Mike Johnson up there, and they're spouting the stuff they spout, and it gets people fired up. And it just feeds and feeds and feeds.
I mean, their platform is divide and conquer.
Yeah,
I mean, it's whatever we can throw out there that will become divisive is the way they're going.
That's exactly why I remind people, these are not smart people that are in office right now doing this. These are not evil. They're evil, but they're not evil geniuses.
Right.
As a distinction I've been trying to make to people.
Yeah, you think of like a dictator takeover, they're going to be brilliant, like a movie or something.
Yeah, that's what we were told, and that's not what's happening.
No.
And if you just can find a way to cut through all that distraction and all the bullshit that they throw out there, you can see just how clownish they all are. It's at times they do say things that can pan out to be something scary or frightening, you know, and I get but so much of what they're saying is just to distract from the Epstein files.
It is. It totally is. It totally is. All right. So I think I know what you would do. But if you weren't running for Congress, what would you be doing right now?
If I wasn't running for Congress, I would be acting, or if I was trying to actually make an income again, which my partner would love, I would go back to.
Can you please win this?
I would go back to I'd go back to acting, but if it was about income, I'd go back to working in restaurants, managing restaurants.
All right.
We are absolutely going to win. I'm saying that. I'm always saying that because you can't run this race and have any of that doubt coming in your mind.
No, you can't.
If there's an after, I will say if there's an after, definitely. I hated restaurants 10 years ago, and now after the last 10 years, after that, since the pandemic, and since doing all this stuff, like, oh man, compared to politics, running a restaurant would be so simple,
so much more fun.
And my younger self is like looking at me like, damn, like we could do so well in restaurants now. If not that though. I do have a lot of acting experience. I do have a lot of comedy experience. I am, if I'll say it like this, if the voters of Florida choose unwisely, if the voters of Florida choose unwisely, I'm just going to continue the social media stuff. It's all going to continue the way it has been. We're going to reach more people. This is just the beginning. This is a way for me to reach people. I want to represent this county. I want to see a social media political influencer running for Congress, because right now everyone's doing their content, and but I think it would be great. I think political influencers or people that know politics, we know a lot.
Right,
So,
right,
you know,
right.
and we know a lot about marketing too. And that's
Yes,
really just
that's
like,
true. That's true.
all
Yeah.
these ideas swirl in my head all the time about how I'm going to reach people with a campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Very cool.
All right. Should we do
Go
one
ahead.
more fun question?
Yeah, do another fun question. This is a good one.
I like the fun part.
If Congress were like a reality TV show, which one would it be?
That's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I don't even know.
I don't either.
If
I
it
don't
was
either.
a modern reality TV show, it would be Love Island.
Okay.
Which I haven't watched too much of, but I have seen clips, and it is so stupid. It looks so that looks like one of the dumbest reality shows that's come out in a long time. And if it was old school reality TV, it would be Survivor.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's Survivor, and it's just and also it's all, you know, just like reality TV. It's half fake. It's not real.
Yeah,
like
they're living in fantasy land.
Like that's it's like check back with me in 365 days, because it's gonna be like I'm learning a lot, and I'm learning so much about, like, there's so much that like I've learned from people that obviously that I can't say, and that I can't just say out in public, and and just like, but it will come out in the things that I know and the thoughts over the next year. Like it's just there's people have over the last year, lots of high profile people have come to me, and I don't mind if this is in the podcast, but so many people have just spilled their heart to me. And sometimes I'm like, that's great, and then sometimes I'm horrified by what the public figure has just told me about how they think about people in society, and how they think I should react to people. Like sometimes I am just absolutely horrified, and
seeing behind the veil can be a little
and that's been part of the process. Like I get burnt out sometimes because I will see behind the veil, and I'm like, oh fuck, if people knew that.
I gotta take a break.
Oh my god, if people knew that. Holy shit. And it's not like I'm trying to not be transparent. Like it's like there's some things that I'm told, I'm like, oh my god, I literally would get sued for defamation if I told people what you just said.
Yeah, exactly.
So
oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, so again, how can they find you? Where can we find you?
You can find our campaign at pldforcongress.com. You can view our policy platform there. You can donate to our Act Blue. It's linked through the website. I've got several different pages. I've got a page on there for Act Blue. I've got a page on there for the whole policy platform. I've got 12 main key issues. I've spent like 16 hours typing it all up and thinking about it. And so that's there. You can also sign up to volunteer at the website. It's a very functioning website. I made
it's a good website.
I made it all myself. That's another grassroots part of it. I've learned basic web development just because I can't find anyone that wants to do it for free. So
you just have to figure it out.
So that's what I've done.
What are all your socials?
Yeah, what's your socials?
So you can find me on TikTok at Paul_Lyle. You can find me on YouTube at Paul_Lyle. You can find me on Facebook, Paul Lyle Dellinger. And then on Facebook, you can find our campaign page, Paul Lyle Dellinger for Congress, Florida 08.
Okay, cool.
It's a longer title.
Okay.
The campaign.
Have to hit rewind.
Wait,
what did he say?
Yeah, the campaign Facebook, the campaign official stuff. It's like it's just so. Like,
it's so.
It's so boring. We named our campaign committee Paul Lyle Dellinger for Congress because like. I was for a while known as just Paul Lyle. They didn't know my last name.
Oh wow!
And so I've had to include all the three names so that people don't not know who I am.
Right.
And I also think that having three names is kind of a popular thing.
It is kind of cool. Yeah.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
There you go.
Maxwell Alejandro Frost.
Well, RBG was the original.
Yeah, exactly. So it just works out.
She was the OG.
But on the paperwork is very much a mouthful. But the website is very easy. pldforcongress.com.
Very easy.
And you can find everything there.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for being here today, Paul.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
We had so much fun.
I had so much fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do it again.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll be doing it for some more.
Absolutely. Yes.
So true.
Awesome.
Well, that was so much fun. Our first ever guest over here on Blue Notes News.
I loved him.
Yes, he was
so awesome.
Such a great person.
Such a great person. Good luck to him. I'm really hopeful for him.
Yes. He's
100%.
got my vote.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So it's time for our favorite segment of the week. What the fuck? All right, so Dina, what's your what the fuck of the week?
My what the fuck of the week is Qatar and the U.S. agreeing to have a Qatari military base here in the United States.
Yeah, because we do that stuff all the time.
Yeah, like I thought the Republicans were the party that was anti-Muslim,
and
anti-terrorist, America first, and now for the first time in our history, we're going to have a foreign nation having a military base in Idaho, of all places.
Yeah.
Like, what?
What the fuck?
Yes. What the fuck? So apparently that's how Trump felt just a few years ago. Listen to the clip.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism.
So apparently a $400 million jet, a $1.5 billion investment for Jared Kushner, and a golf course in Qatar gets you a
base in the U.S. What the fuck?
What the fuck? Play the clip.
And I'm also proud that today we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho.
We're selling them the F-15 bombers, and then we're bringing them here to train them how to use them.
Apparently that's what we're doing now. Yeah.
All right.
100%. Yeah. So, all right.
What's your what
the fuck of the week is your boy, RFK Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, up there.
Little brainworm guy.
Brainworm, Secretary Brainworm. And he feels that circumcision and Tylenol causes autism. And I'm not making light of autism. Seriously, that's like a serious thing. But he's a fucking moron.
Yes.
And well, let's just play the clip.
2 studies that show children who are circumcised early have double the rate of autism. And it's highly likely because they're given Tylenol.
Okay.
What fucking alternate universe are we living?
I don't know.
Please, somebody tell me.
I don't know, but here's the thing, Dina. Are girls getting circumcised too early and having Tylenol too?
I don't know. I just don't even know what to say.
I don't know.
Like,
There's
it is
no
just
words.
so
There's no words.
ridiculous.
And I honestly, when I heard that this week, I was like, I have no words. And that's not good when you're going to do a podcast about this. Yeah. I ran out of words.
I do too. It's crazy.
It's crazy town. It's crazy town.
Crazy town.
All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap for another week on Blue Notes News. This was our first full-length episode, so that was exciting. But follow us, like us, rate us, review us. You can find us at Blue Notes News on Instagram and on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook as Nathan Montgomery and as well at NateMont520 on Instagram. And Dina, where can we find you?
You can find me now on Facebook at Dina with Blue Notes News and on Insta at Dina_ with Blue Notes News.
Perfect. Well, we will see you next week.
Yeah. Have a great week, everybody.